as you can probably see, I'm wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, right? I recently went to Texas, and I got totally Texified. I went from San Antonio to South Padre Island, Corpus Christi. We went to Alvin, Austin, and then back to San Antonio. Couldn't come back without a hat and cowboy boots. And I heard that C.J. Grisham was going to be here, so I wanted to make sure he felt warm and welcome with familiar sights of cowboy hats and cowboy boots on here today. Since we're here, I get a chance to see you all. I network with you all in social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, newsletter, you name it. I think I'm on everything but that new one, Snapchat. But it's really good to come out here and to see you and to network with you all, and in some cases, rekindle friendships that we started here at this march in previous years. Also to establish new friendships and new relationships with those of you that I've been networking with online. And I truly am honored that people drop by my page and we get to have many detailed discussions on a variety of topics. But since we're here today at the Second Amendment March, it's only appropriate that we talk about guns. And we talk about gun rights and fighting for the cause of liberty. I'm getting pretty up there in age. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I am, but if I take off my hat, you'll clearly see that I got a sea of cotton up there. Okay? This year, though, this upcoming election, I feel like a sense of dread, when I look at the state of politics at the national level right now. On the one side, one major political party, the Democratic Party, they're assuming the highest office, well, not assuming, but they're pursuing the highest office in the land, the presidency. And when I look at what they're talking about, when I look at Hillary Clinton or Senator Bernie Sanders, and you look at them in their debates, it seems as though they're trying to one-up themselves on how draconian they would be if they were elected president. With Hillary Clinton, she's gone so far as to suggest that she should hold gun manufacturers accountable for the misdeeds of criminals who misuse the product, that misuse their firearms. Senator Bernie Sanders, he's going to one-up her and he's going to say, well, you know what? Any firearm that cannot be used for hunting should be banned. Just in case you didn't know, I am firmly here to tell you that the Second Amendment is not about hunting. The Second Amendment is, and has always has been and will continue to be, is our last line of defense against a government that has turned tyrannical and seeks to take away our freedom. So that is why we have the Second Amendment. When you get to go out and to talk with fellow gun owners and fellow patriots about the cause of freedom, it's not unusual to hear people get really fired up on the subject, especially when you talk about their desire to keep gun ownership active and alive. If we look at just the statistics on guns in this country, there is an estimated 300 million guns in circulation today. Also, there's an estimated 100 million gun owners in this country. You do some quick math, people that own guns don't just like guns, they love guns. We love guns. And if you love guns, you will do all that is necessary and is required to make sure that gun ownership remains a staple of our society. You will make sure you do what's required, that you will only vote for a pro-gun candidate. As far as I can see, and as what I'm going to tell you, is that there is no candidate in the Democratic Party running for president who's going to do right by us on gun rights. It's especially chilling for me personally that former Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia had the audacity to die while the Supreme Court was in doubt with respect to us having a new president. Scalia was a very stalwart, ardent, and fervent supporter of gun rights, and the fact that the next Supreme Court justice is going to be very important. Currently, the court is at a 4-4 split, which was really surprising because they voted unanimously that stun guns were indeed arms and were protected by the Second Amendment. But I say to you all, if we get a liberal anti-gun justice on the Supreme Court, we run the risk of having Heller overturned. We run the risk of having McDonald overturned. The risks are very high. So it is with this time that we have that I feel a sense of dread. However, I am confident when I look out among the group of you all today that there are still people like me who believe in the Second Amendment, people who are willing to sacrifice time out of their day to come out here and to rally towards our duly elected state representatives and our state senators and to tell them that we are in full support of gun rights here in the state of Michigan. Frequently, you'll hear people say things that cause others to pause. You'll hear them say things such as, sometimes the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. When you talk like the founding fathers of this country spoke, you tend to raise a few eyebrows. People look at you strange and say, oh man, you're definitely headed for the no-fly list. They're going to try to take your guns without due process. I'm here to tell you that when you speak like that, whether in person or online, you're going to get a couple of trolls online. And these trolls, true to form, they will question whether it is indeed possible for a group of citizens who are having their Second Amendment rights attacked. Is it even possible for patriots to rise up against tyrants? They might even ask you to show me just one example in this country since this country was founded. When has this ever happened? I'm here to tell you that this did indeed happen in this country. And if you've been in the gun rights movement for a while, you're already familiar with the story I'm about to tell you. If you are fairly new to the gun rights movement, I have a very short story that will edify you and educate you on a battle which lasted 2 days. August 1st of 1946. We are rapidly approaching the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Athens, Tennessee. Close to the end of World War II, McMinn County in the state of Tennessee welcomed its soldiers back home from the war, World War II. Our soldiers who valiantly and bravely served overseas fighting the Axis forces for the cause of freedom all across the globe. When they came home in 1946, 1945, they realized that the freedom that they were fighting for overseas did not indeed exist at home in McMinn County. Before these soldiers even came back, the local residents of this county petitioned the federal government, the Department of Justice, which was of course overseen by the President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR and the Department of Justice didn't want to have anything to do with the allegations of corruption and tyranny that existed in McMinn County. What the veterans decided to do, the veterans decided, well, obviously with these tyrants in control of the county government, it's too late to reason with these guys. But at the current moment, it's too early to start shooting. So they thought that they would embrace the political process and tried to reform it from within. They decided to run a complete slate of GI candidates from the county sheriff all the way down the ticket. They campaigned hard and they campaigned valiantly. From their polling results, it appeared that victory politically was certainly soon at hand. To ensure that their goal of having tyranny eradicated in their home county of McMinn, they petitioned the government one more time. They petitioned the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to come to McMinn County and to send federal election monitors to ensure that there were fair and free elections. Once again, the federal government turned a blind eye to the citizens of McMinn County. If they were to get freedom, they would have to get it for themselves and not depend on some federal government to give it to them. On the day of the election, August 1st, 1946, the corrupt sheriff of McMinn County brought in 200 additional armed thugs and goons to ensure that the election went its way. When the GIs had their own election monitors to make sure that there wasn't any wrongdoing or chicanery going on, they were promptly dismissed and pushed to the side and not to be a part of this political process. This issue came to a head when one brave man, a black man, a farmer by the name of Tom Gillespie, who, believe it or not, in 1946, it was not a very smart thing to do for a black man to attempt to vote in the South. Undeterred, he pressed forward and demanded to be allowed to vote. As he turned away from law enforcement to make his way over to the voting booth, he was promptly shot in the back. And at that very moment, all hell broke loose at the polling place. The corrupt sheriff took it upon himself to take the ballots and the boxes and to safely secure them, he said, for the sanctity of the election, to take them over to the county jail. This definitely did not sit well with the veterans who were running for office and who wanted to restore liberty in McMinn County. They knew that the corrupt sheriff was going to manipulate the ballots and ensure that their corruption still reigned the day. So the veterans, they went outside, they had a quick meeting, they had a huddle, and said, hey, what are we going to do? They said, hey, this is tyranny. We fought for freedom overseas. Let us fight for it now. Go home, get your guns, and come back. We will get those ballots from the sheriff's county jail. And of course, you know, we're talking about guys from the South. If you think us guys up north like our guns up here, I'm here to tell you that the guys in the South love them just a little bit more. In the South, depending on where you live, if you don't know how to shoot, you can't eat. These guys got their guns, and they quickly realized that they didn't have enough guns. Yes, Southern guys have guns, but you know what? They had 200 additional thugs augmenting and supplementing the troops, the sheriff's deputies that were on staff. So our GIs, they had a very great idea. They said, hey, let's go to the national and state local armory and let us borrow the guns that are there. Our warriors went to borrow the guns from the armory. They borrowed Colt 45 pistols and British Enfield rifles. Now they had enough to fight for freedom in their hometown. They promptly went to the sheriff's jail and they said, give us the ballots. The corrupt sheriff and his deputies fired upon our patriots. Our patriots then took higher ground and then began in earnest the Battle of Athens. There was gunfire and exchanges that persisted throughout the days, throughout the evening, and into the night. It even passed and transpired into the very next day, August 2nd of 1946. At one point, around 2:45 a.m. in the morning, it was pretty much understood that this is going to be a protracted battle unless something momentous occurred. So those improvising patriots came up with a plan to create some improvised explosive devices. They found themselves some dynamite, and they created bombs, and they bombed the county jail. Predictably, the tyrants fled and left the ballot boxes and the votes. Liberty was indeed restored by the patriots who took the ballots and secured them for later on that day. They then took to the airwaves and broadcast to the citizens of that county that they would soon be free, that the ballots would be counted openly and in public. Later that day, that prophecy was realized as the corrupt sheriff was taken and kicked out of office. The GI slate of candidates won the day. Liberty was destroyed. So there are two basic lessons to be learned from this very short history lesson. One is that the Second Amendment is not about hunting. The Second Amendment was given to us by our founding fathers as a last resort to fight against tyranny and corrupt government officials who will not do our bidding. The second point to be taken from this exercise is that true patriots will fight for liberty against all enemies, foreign and domestic. With that, I leave you and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.
Smack, runner, your game is through. Smack, runner, I'm talking to you.